actually going to do a YouTube stream, so you don't have to jump in to the student. Let me just see how this is working. Okay, cool.
Sorry, John. I'm not actually on the checklist. Where am I looking?
The Google. So there's a WhatsApp that says, "Please follow. Take 5 minutes to revisit our student session checklist." That's a Google Doc.
Cool. Okay, cool. Sorry, it's also in the tutor chat. I just hadn't opened it yet. Okay, cool. Ready?
So let me see if the stream URL works. Give me 1 second. We might be a minute or two late for this kid, but that's okay. Put it in the tutor chat. Wait, does that work? Does that link work?
No. What it does? There's no.
No. What on earth is that? Hold on. Where do I find the stream, the flippin' stream link? Give me 1 second. I had it yesterday. Get shareable link. Fantastic. Copy to clipboard. There we go. Try that. How's that?
It's just loading.
And I am in.
Cool. If you mute your Discord, can you still hear me? Can you still hear me there, Tiffany?
Yep, I can.
Okay, how's the visuals? Can you see everything that needs to be seen?
It's a bit delayed by a few seconds.
Okay, that's fine, because you won't know that it's delayed. Because it'll be like you're watching a movie, but you can have a look at all of this stuff. I'm going to hide this on this side, so you guys can actually mute, and you can just chill in the stream. So I'm actually going to just mute me in real life. Okay.
Sorry, I'm confused.
Yeah?
So when you say mute you, is that when you
Like, mute me in Discord. You're just going to watch this as a pre-recording and go through that checklist. You won't be in the room.
Cool, thank you.
Cool. Okay, so basically, guys, it is going to be delayed, but that's fine because you won't know it's delayed because I'm in the future, coming back, streaming to you in the past. So the first thing that I'm going to do now is I'm going to have a look at the student that's coming up. I'm going to check them out. So that's our 8 o'clock, and I am going to have a look, and I can see that based on age, the child will be placed in intermediate. Now, this doesn't mean that the child will be an intermediate just because I've placed them in intermediate. Their age is intermediate. So then let's just have a look at the checklist. What's the first thing? So I'm going to call the kid, explain the full process. I'm going to ask them if they're ready, and then I'm going to do a full test. Sorry. Start. Okay, so I'm just reviewing the student details. My bad. So I've done their age. Let's have a look at their coding experience. So just on this page here, I'm just going to go down to their username. So the kid's name, the parent's called Reinhardt. The student is Isaac. I'm just going to remember how to pronounce that. And maths ability is okay. Some exposure to code. I'm going to probe that a little bit. And I've just remembered Isaac and Reinhardt. Now I've prepared the windows for the live stream, Airtable, TeamViewer, and the checklist. This is the checklist, so that's in a window. TeamViewer is in a window, Airtable's over here, and then the live stream I'm going to be doing from another monitor, which you can't see. Message the student to let them know I'll be there in 5 minutes. So let me just find Isaac. Let me go to welcome. Let's see, Isaac. But now why is Isaac under Caitlin? That's a bit confusing. Obviously, this is supposed to say John, so I'll just message Isaac anyway. Hi, I will be with you in 2 minutes. So preferably I'd be doing that 5 minutes ahead of time. Yes, I'll be there. Now I'm just about to call on Discord. If there's no answer, I can call the parent via WhatsApp or via a regular call. Isak has replied. His name is Felbach. So now I'm ready to start with the warm welcome. So I'm going to go through this particular checklist. Let me just change my time camp to orientation. Student orientation. Okay, so I'm about to call him in a minute or two. What I'll do is I'll greet the student, ask him how to pronounce his name, introduce him, ask if the parent is present. And if they are present, explain that they can stay or they can choose to go, come and go. So just give them that idea that there are no obligations. I'm going to ask them if they are there to please avoid assisting with the activities, because that affects how we view the kid. Cool. Caitlin's just messaged me saying don't forget to pop Isak in your SS session role. Support starter session role. Okay, so I think let me just go back and make sure that's been done. So Isak, let me go to roles. So I actually need to do this, and I'm going to change it from Caitlin. And I don't have a starter session. Oh, there we go. Starter session John. Fantastic. Okay, then I'll connect via TeamViewer. I'll ask the kid if it sounds good. Connect via TeamViewer. Explain TeamViewer. I can see control your screen. Explain to close. And explain that they need to let go of the mouse so that I can control the screen. That's it. Now, depending on the level of the kid, I might, if they've used Discord, I might do more. So we usually run through the Discord help chat and run through the Discord live stream to explain how both of those things work. Then we do a little Discord exam, but only if they are new to Discord. Change Discord settings, introduce the maths activity. This maths process is really important. Just watch as I do each of these steps, and then I'll introduce the code activity, and then I'll do the code activity. And finally, I chat to the student, chat to the parent, and then we spend some time filling in the actual data sheet. But now it's time to get going. So let me jump in, and let me give Isak a call. So that's just right click and call. Hello, Isak.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Fantastic. How are you doing today?
Good, and you?
Very, 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 very well. Isak, am I pronouncing your name correctly? Is it Isak?
Yep.
Okay, good. So Isak, my name is John, and I'm going to be leading you through this morning's starter session. So this is not an actual Rocket Hour class. This is just a session where we try and introduce you to what we do, and we also try and work out what the perfect class is for you, so that you're not in a class that's too slow and you get bored, and you're not in a class that's too fast, so you feel like you're not getting anywhere. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Cool beans. Now I see that your dad signed you up. Reynard, is he around at the moment?
Yes, I'm here.
Hey Reynard, how are you doing?
Yeah, good, thank you. And you?
Very, very, very good, thanks. So Reynard, I just wanted to say you're absolutely welcome to stay. No issues, but no obligations as well. You don't need to be here.
Okay.
You can leave Isak with me. I'll take care of him. If you do choose to stay, then I'm going to ask you not to assist Isak with any of the activities. They are meant to be done completely without any help. So we can just get some good data and make sure he goes into the right.
It's fine. No, I'm gonna dash E6. I'm just gonna be downstairs. You just carry on, okay? Thanks, John.
Okay, no worries. Cool. Isak, does that sound good?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, I am going to connect with you on TeamViewer now. So that's going to allow me to see and control your screen. So if you can please accept my incoming TeamViewer request. There we go. I've got that. And I can now control your screen. So if I click on that, look at that, I can move your mouse about. And with TeamViewer, can you see that there's this little dialog box on the bottom right? To minimize that, you can just click on that little arrow if you don't mind. So if you just want to click on Do you see where it is? Just give that a click. You can do it yourself. So just over. Oops, sorry. It's like what I mean is just at the bottom right here to minimize the Steam view when you just there. That's it. Exactly. Now we can full screen Discord, and that is perfect. Now, one thing I must tell you is that if I want to control your screen, or your tutor in a class wants to control your screen, you have to stop moving your mouse. So you'll often, in Rocket Hour, we often say, hey, we just want to show you, help you solve this one bug. Please can we control your screen? And then you just stop moving your mouse, and then I can control your screen while I'm doing that to help you sort out any issues that you might have. Cool. So that is TeamViewer. Onto Discord. Have you used Discord before?
Yeah.
Okay, like a lot, a little bit, every day, every week?
I'm guessing like every day.
Every day. Okay, so you know Discord backwards. Do you? So I'm going to ask you. You can see that we've got a Rocket Hour server. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you to click on that Rocket Hour server and then jump into what is a. It is the lesson space. If you can jump into that,
Yeah.
I'll meet you there now. Cool, Isaac. So we are in, and you will notice that. Hold on one moment. Sorry, Isaac. Give me a second here. I just wanted to check something. Cool. Okay. You'll notice that you are muted. You cannot say anything, or you can rather say something, and I will tell you. I'm going to unmute you now. And that's one of the default permissions on our server, and we do that because a lot of our students have noisier backgrounds than you. So you hear grandmas banging pots, or dogs barking, or parrots squawking, and it's quite disturbing when you're trying to do your work. So that's why you're muted by default. But if you do have an issue, you can ask for help in the text channel, in the help chat, in the class chat. So it's like if you can just, you know how to find, can you see the text channel?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you just want to give that a click, I just want to make sure that you know how to get there. Fantastic. And that's where you'd type it out exactly. So let me actually just jump in there, and I've got a question for you. Can you give me an answer to that question? Aha! That is fantastic. Okay, then joining live streams. You know exactly how to do that?
You mean when someone's already in a call, or?
Let me show you what I mean. I'm going to start a live stream now, and I'd like you to join that and maximize that. So have a look at my name on the left-hand side. There we are.
Yeah.
Cool beans. So you're in the live stream now, but at Rocket Hour, we really like you to full screen every live stream. So in the bottom right-hand corner, you will find the little full screen button. Bottom right-hand corner, I'll show you. Just over there, yeah, exactly. You can give that a click. And then on the right-hand side, to get rid of the thumbnails, you can just click on that little hide members button. If you can give that a click, please. Just over there. Fantastic. So that's it. That's full screen. And you'll obviously, as with every other full screen, you'll see exactly what's happening on my screen. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to quit my live stream. And then you can, first of all, just close it, and then you can minimize it. And then you can rejoin the help chat, the text channel once again. Awesome. So it's like you are obviously a Discord pro, so we're not going to go into any more details with Discord, which we usually do with students. There's only one setting that I just want to change on your Discord, which is I'm going to disallow direct messages from server members. And actually, I can see that there are a couple of other settings that do need to be changed. I assume you've got another Discord profile that you're going to use, right? Isak? Hello? Oh, you're muted. Sorry, Isak. I think you're muted. No, you're not. Isak, can you hear me? I have lost you. Hello, hello, hello. Ah, I see that your connection has dropped a bit. I'm going to actually... but your team viewer connection is fine. Isak, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, you disappeared for a second. Your connection just dropped for a bit, but you're back. So, Isak, sorry, I was just saying there were a couple of settings that I had to change, but that's fine. And I actually we don't usually check these settings, but I just want to double check these settings. What I asked is, do you have another Discord profile?
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. So these settings are only for this one because we have safety requirements because we have students of all ages. So there are a couple of settings that we do need to change. Cool. There we go. So that is that. That is absolutely fine. Cool beans. And I'm just going to write down. Cool. Okay. So I've got a question for you. It's like, how do you feel about maths? Are you best friends or worst enemies?
In the middle.
In the middle. Casual acquaintances.
Yep.
Okay, that is great news. The reason I ask that is because coding is not the same as maths, but some aspects of it can be similar. You also, especially problem solving. How do you feel about problem solving and word problems?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, well then that's great news. So what we're gonna do now is, as I said, we're trying to find out what the perfect Rocket Hour class is for you. So I'm going to be sharing a link in the help chat. If you want to give that a click, we're going to do some word activities. So first of all, I want you to understand that this isn't a test. It's not a pass or a fail that you get a mark and we chuck you out of Rocket Hour and you have to make your way penniless in the world. You are it's just for us to find the right class for you. So if you can click start over there, and then you can just fill in your name, your first and last name, please, with a capital letter, exactly. Awesome. You can click next, and we're going to go to an example. And I want you to just hold here, and I'm going to read, we're going to do this in a very particular way. So the first thing I want you to do, and I'm going to tell you the list. The first thing I'm going to ask you to do with every question is to read the full question out loud, if that makes sense, from beginning to end.
Yeah.
Then once you've read it out loud, you can take as much time as you need to think. And then what I want you to do is to hold your mouse over the correct answer. Please do not just click on it. However obvious it is, don't just click on it. Say, hold your mouse over the correct answer. And then you can say, this is the answer, or I think it's this one. So actually say it out loud. Don't just hold it there and then wait for me to, because I might just think you're thinking. Then I'll say, give it a click. You can click on it, and then you do that entire process again with the next question. So you're going to read the question out loud. You're going to take some time to think about the answer, hold the mouse over the correct one, and then say, I think it's this one. Can we do this? Can you try that with this particular question, that whole process?
Yeah. I have 10 snakes and my mom gives me 7 more. How many snakes do I have now? I think it's this one.
Fantastic. You are I'm not going to say you're a maths genius quite yet. Cool. Now, One additional thing that I want you to notice before I ask you to click on it is, do you notice that you're not having to work out the answer? So this is an easy question, but if this said I have 10,552 snakes and my mom gives me 465 more, you don't actually have to do the sum in your head. You can just find the equation that represents the answer, if that makes sense.
Mm.
Cool. So with that in mind, hold on one moment. I am going to suggest that you click the answer and go for it. So you can go for it now. You can read that out loud.
I have 19 marbles and my mom gives me 9 more. How many marbles do I have? It's this one.
Cool. Give it a click.
2 moles go to a party. At the party, there are 3 rats, 4 hamsters, and 1 rabbit. How many animals are there alone? Oh, they're all together. Ah, I think it's this one.
Go for it.
9 prizes are hidden on a treasure hunt. Only 3 prizes are found. How many prizes are never found? Oh. Oh. I think it's this one.
Cool.
No, would it be? Yeah. I have 42 potatoes and I can fit 6 potatoes in a sack. How many sacks do I need to hold all my potatoes? I think it's this one.
Go for it.
Every cave has 5 creepers inside. How many creepers are in 13 caves? I think it's this one.
Go for it.
Dr. X has 33 pet snails and 21 pet elephants. 16 of his snails die, and he buys 12 more elephants. How many snails does he now own? Uh, mm,
You're welcome to take your time, reread it, think about it as much as you need.
think it's this.
33 minus 16. Lovely. Give it a click.
The king of the jungle owns 22 cows, 5 dogs, 12 horses, 3 watches, and 2 cats. How many animals does he own total? What are watches? Is that?
Like wristwatches.
Oh, oh. I think it's this one.
Cool. Go for it. Some slightly harder ones. And click next.
Classroom has 13 boys and 15 girls. 39 buttons are shared equally between the boys. How many buttons does each boy get? Oh, I think it's this one.
Cool.
There are 13 blue boxes and 21 green boxes. There are 16 gold coins in each blue box and 15 gold coins in every green box. How many gold coins are there in all the green boxes? I think it's this one.
21 times 15. Go for it.
15 children in a school get silly and eat 2 snails each. 13 children go mad and eat 5 snails each. 8 children go insane and eat 13 snails each. How many snails are eaten in total? Me. Okay. I think it's this one.
So you're saying
Oh, wait, it's 13 times 5, 8 times 13, 15 times 2 be 30. Can't be this one because it's 13 times 13. And that's 8 times, I think it's this one.
great, give it a click.
Jordan gets 15 sweets every day. Every day, her kind brother gives her 6 extra sweets. How many sweets will Jordan have after 16 days? Um, I think it's this one.
Cool, you can give that a click.
Charles gets 15 sweets every day. Every day, his greedy brother steals 6 sweets. How many sweets will Charles have after 16 days? It's this one.
Cool, go for it. Some slightly harder ones.
Every cow in Mr. Brown's farm has to wear 2 hats and 4 shoes. Mr. Brown owns 144 cows. How many hats and shoes do all his cows wear in total? Okay. I think it's this one.
Do you want to take some time to think about it, or do you want to give it a click?
I want to think a bit more. One of these.
There might be more than one right answer, I can say that.
Okay. Well, I think I'll go with this one.
Lovely, go for it.
Wongles have 31 teeth and 4 legs. You can count all the teeth in a room full of Wongles and fit there are 2,454. How many legs are there in the room? Oh, I see. I think it's this one.
So
Oh,
2.54 divided by 31 times 4.
yeah.
Cool, go for it.
Hose fills up a bucket in 22 minutes. How many minutes would it take to fill up 13 buckets that are half the size? Mm, I think it's this one.
22 times 13 divided by 2. Lovely. And you can give that a click. And we're actually going to end it right there. I am. So actually, you know what? I'd like you to try this last one. So have a look at it and just see how it goes.
There are 43 black boxes. Inside each black box are 31 red boxes. Inside each red box are 12 pumpkins. How many pumpkins in red boxes are there? Okay, 15.
So, just a note that you can offer.
I think it's this one. I don't know though. I'm still gonna think of it. There are 43 black boxes.
So, no help is needed with incorrect answers, but for the last question, I often like to help them solve it if they get it wrong, just as if there's extra time, if we're running ahead of time, which we are at the moment. So I won't score this question that he is currently working on. If you miss a question and they click on it, you can ask to go back.
Or it could also be this one. I think it's this one.
Okay, so this is the last question. So why do you say 30? Why do you say this question? Why do you say this answer?
Because we times the red boxes with the pumpkins and the black boxes with the red boxes.
So
and we add them together, the final answers, and
it's
then
really good thinking. I can see what you're doing. So we're trying to work out two things. We're trying to work out if there are how many pumpkins there are, and we're trying to work out how many red boxes there are. So to find out how many pumpkins there are, what do I need to do to find out pumpkins?
we do 31 and
Times 12.
times 12, yeah.
Now, but that is going to tell us how many pumpkins there are in 31 red boxes. But remember, there are still there's still 43 black boxes. So there's 3 levels, if that makes sense. So it's like, imagine that inside you there are 2 mice, and inside each mice there are 2 fleas. I don't know why they're mice inside of you, but just imagine. So I've got to multiply the number of U's that there are. There's only 1 Isak, multiplied by the 2 mice, multiplied by the 3 fleas. So I've actually got to find out the number of pumpkins, I've actually got to multiply all 3 of these numbers. Does that make sense, to get the number of pumpkins?
Yeah.
So you do 1 times 2 times 3, which is 43 times 31 times 12. That gives us the number of pumpkins. And then to find the red boxes, I need to do, as you correctly worked out, 43 times 31. So it's actually, you were very close, it's actually that one. But what we're going to do is we're actually just going to skip. Actually, wait, there was one thing that I wanted to just double check. I think I might have missed something. So I just wanted to check number 11. Give me one moment. No, that's absolutely perfect. Okay, so I'm going to skip right to the end, and I'm going to click submit. Fantastic stuff, and you can pop back into Discord if you can. Okay, so tell me, it's like about you and coding. You've done a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay, tell me what you did. What coding did you...
Python.
Cool. Was that at school?
And
Was that
before
at your
that,
own?
from Scratch. No, just at home.
And before that, you said?
Scratch.
Okay, how much Scratch have you done? How much Scratch have you worked with?
I don't know. Not too little, not too much.
Cool. And with Python, what do you remember from Python? And how?
Well, just the basics, I'd say.
Cool. And are you still working with either Scratch or Python?
I'm working with Python right now.
Okay. Cool. So, what I am going to do, seeing as you do have a little bit of coding experience, is like I'm going to skip you on to our. We have a little assessment for some students that have had coding. If this is, if there's a lot of stuff here that you don't know, then I might move you back to the old assessment. But I'm going to ask you to give that a click. We also actually sorry. We actually need to log you onto Scratch. So my bad. Hold on one moment. Actually, you can do it from here. So if you click sign in on the top right hand corner, now there's a specific. I'm not going to ask you to sign in with that. I'm going to give you a new username, which I am going to get from our database just here. Hold on one moment. Give me a second or two. There we are. So this is basically the first 3 letters of your first name, the first 3 letters of your last name, 01-RH, and the password you can type it in is rockethour21, rockethour21, all lowercase, all small letters. once you're done, you can click sign in. Cool, and you can save it. Please do save it. And then if you just go through and just complete the Scratch sign in, so your name, your age, your country. Not your name, your birth, month, year, and country.
Oh, that's something else.
And you can actually just scroll down to the scroll bar actually on the right to get all the way to S. Just a note here, Kathy and Tiffany, that if this is obviously a more advanced kid, if it was a beginner, we often help a lot of things. Awesome. And you can go next step. Fantastic. Go to class. Amazing stuff. Awesome. Okay, so Mr. Isak, what I'm going to ask you to do is actually go back and click on that link again because it seems to have migrated your way. So if you just go there. Yeah. Cool. And if you can please click remix on the top right. Very important to note how he moves between windows, opens, closes, that sort of thing. Fantastic stuff. Okay, so here we are going to begin. You know Scratch. You know all about Scratch and what Scratch does.
Yeah, just I'm guessing block coding. I'll call it.
Yeah, exactly that. So the reason we use block coding, even in our advanced track, we use block coding. I'm just going to control your mouse for a second. Because it allows us to explain the logic of coding, and as you know, when you move into Python, the logic remains the same. So you can do some incredibly sophisticated coding in Scratch because it has all the functions that you would find in any text-based language. So in this particular instance, I'm going to be asking you a couple of questions about different structures. Just so you note, you know Scratch, but this little section is obviously where we do our code, and then this is where we see the result of that code. So the two are linked in this particular case. So let me just get ready to ask you your first question. So here we are. So if we go to number 1, just over here. Hold on, there we are. So you can take some time to think about before you answer. But for this section over here, if I was to... I've moved up one. There we are, here. For this section over here, what do you think would happen with Scratch the Cat if I were to press the 1 key on my keyboard? What do you think Scratch the Cat would do?
Well, he just say starting,
Yeah.
like as a speech bubble, then he'd move 10 steps forwards, he'd wait, he'd move another 10 steps and say ending.
Lovely. Exactly that. We're not even going to run it because you know exactly what's going on. Okay. What would happen if I were to click the second block over here? What would happen?
You'd make the code repeat 4 times, and he'd say moving, then he'd do 10 steps and repeat that again, like another 4 times, just moving, 10 steps, moving, 10 steps.
Can I actually ask you to point with your mouse to show me what would happen? Show me how you would run through this.
So it would go to moving.
Yeah.
He'd say moving for 2 seconds, then he'd do 10 steps, and then he'd go to moving again, and then 10 steps, and then to moving again, and 10 steps, just 4 times.
Fantastic. Absolutely perfect. Now, third question, can you tell me exactly what would happen here if we were to press 3?
He'd say starting again for 2 seconds, then this section here will repeat 3 times. He'd say moving, and then move 10 steps, moving, and then move 10 steps, and then he'd say ending once this is repeated 3 times for 2 seconds.
Perfect stuff. And now number 4, what would happen there?
This whole code here will repeat twice. So he'd say starting twice, and he'd say ending twice. And then in the repeat code, this one, the big one, this here would repeat 3 times.
So take me through that again and just show me with your mouse what would happen.
So this repeat code will repeat him saying starting. Then in this code here, this will repeat twice, so it'll make it a total of 6 times.
Mm-hmm.
And he'd move 6 times and wait 6 seconds, and then it would say ending 2 times as well.
Cool. Thank you for that. Now, moving on a little bit. So over here, have you seen this particular coding structure before? Have you used this one before?
Yeah, I use it a lot in Python.
Okay. Do you know what it's called in Python? Or in any language, do you know what it's called? Do you know what we call this block?
No.
Okay, so that is it's called an if statement. So over here, what I'm going to ask is these colors match these colors on the right. If I were to move Scratch to over here, what would happen if I were to place him, let's say, just over here, and then I were to click 1? What would happen, do you think?
Nothing.
Cool. And if I was to put Scratch over here and press 1, what do you think would happen?
Then he'd say red for 2 seconds.
Very nice. Over here, what would happen if I was to put Scratch over there and press 2?
Well, he'd say checking color, and then no, he wouldn't say anything.
Lovely. And over here, what would happen?
Checking color, and then he says green.
Excellent. If I was to place him over there and then press 3?
He would just say nothing and shutting down.
Lovely stuff. And if I was to place him over there and press 3?
He would say purple and shutting down.
Excellent. Right. Let's move down to number 4. What would happen if I was to place Scratch over there and then press 4?
Well, skip the first if, and it will go to the second one, and it would say green and then shutting down.
Lovely. And if I was to place him over there and then press 4?
He would say both.
So explain that. Say out loud what he would say.
Well, he would say purple and then green and shutting down.
Lovely stuff. And finally, if I was to place him over there, what would I hear? We'll see.
Nothing.
So you wouldn't say anything?
Yeah.
Cool. Would he skip, just out of interest, would he skip, would he say both of, either one of these? Would he skip saying shutting down, or would he say shutting down?
He will say shutting down.
Okay, even over here?
Yeah.
Perfect. Cool. Over here with number 5. What would happen if he was touching, if I put him over there and pressed 5?
Nothing.
Over here? Cool. And if I put him over there and pressed 5?
He would say purple or sausage.
Which one? Or both?
Oh, sorry. He'd say, so on gray he would say sausage, and on purple he would say purple.
Okay, lovely. And then finally, if I were to pop him over there and then press 6. So have a good look at this coding structure. It is a little bit different. What would happen if I had to put him over there and then press 6?
Well, he wouldn't do anything for the purple section. If touching purple, say purple. But for the else section, if for touching color green, he wouldn't do anything, but he'd say sausage.
Okay, and if I moved him over there and press 6?
He'd say green.
If I moved him over there and press 6?
He'd say purple.
And if I moved him over there and press 6?
He'd say green, purple and green.
Cool. I'm actually going to give you. You've done really well. And it's clear. It's like that. You know your code. Just one little clue here is an if-else statement. If the if part of the if-else statement is evaluated to true, it actually doesn't move and check the else. So actually, in this case, if he's touching both, he would only say purple. It would not move to the else statement. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It wouldn't run both. But otherwise, absolutely perfect. Lovely stuff. Hold on 1 second. Okay, because he's at the variables now, we're going to give 2 extra minutes. I've reset it. So I think that was on like 2 minutes. So let's give it another, or 4. Let's give it another 4. Sorry, I didn't see that. Cool, I'm back with you, Isak. So let's have a look at the next section over here. Have you ever seen, or can you work out what these blocks do? They go together.
Yeah.
Cool. So, do you know what they're called?
No.
They're called variables. So we're setting a variable and we're using variables in this section. Can you try and work out, maybe you know exactly what happens or what doesn't happen. What would happen if I were to press 1?
Well, his name would turn to John, and he would say, hello there, and he would say his name, John.
Okay. And for number 2, what would happen now if I press number 2?
He'd set his name to John, and, well, his first name to John, his second name to Judy. So, and then he'd say his first name, which would be John. Then he would say his second name, which would be Judy. Then he would set his first name as Zach. Then he would say Zach, and then he would say Judy.
Lovely stuff. Number 3. If I had to press number 3, can you work out what would happen there?
You'd set his points to 0. You'd repeat a code 10 times. He'd say 0 for 1 second, and he'd change the points by 1 every single time. So he'd work up to 10. He'd basically be counting up to 10.
Lovely stuff. With number 4, what would happen over here?
Well, he'd set his points to 100, then he'll repeat a code for 100 times. Say you have got for 1 second, and then he would say his points, which would be 100, and change his points by -1, and then say points. Well, why isn't this points orange? Is that just, wouldn't that just say his points as a chat?
So what would happen there?
He would just say 100 still. Sorry, points.
So read it out loud. What would happen there?
So he says you have got, and then he would say 100, and then you change the 100 like to a 99 with your -1, but then he wouldn't say that out, and he would say just points instead of 99.
And then what would he say the next time round?
Then he would say 99.
Would he just say 99, or would he also say
you have got, and then 99.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna move you swiftly on. Have you ever seen these sorts of blocks before?
No.
Okay, I mean that doesn't matter. That's absolutely fine. It doesn't matter. But can you tell me what do you think might happen if I pressed 1? So take some time to have a look at this.
You'd give him, or you'd tell him to, you give him an option, and he would pick a random number from 1 to 3, and then if he picked 1, he would say option 1. If he picked 2, he'd say option 2. If he'd picked 3, he'd say option 3.
Lovely stuff. Over here.
You'd set his age to 1 to 100, and if he'd say 25, then he would say too low. Oh, I see. So if he'd say 25 is bigger than age, he would say too low. And then age equals to 25, he'd say just right. And then if age is bigger than 25, he'd say too high.
Exactly that. So it's not if you phrase it in the strange way. 25 is bigger than age. Rather, I would say if age is less than 25, you'd say too
Yeah.
high. If age is 25, and if age is greater than 25. Lovely stuff. Okay. So we're not going to go. I'm not going to move you into the other challenges, but I think you would do just fine with these. So we're also working with variables and operators and that sort of stuff. I'm sure you've done a bit of that, but that was absolutely fantastic. That was great. As I say, this is obviously not a lesson. This is me just checking how much code you know, and we are almost finished with our starter session. So if you just want to pop back into Discord, if you don't mind coming back. And yes, I can ask you now, it's like, do you have any questions about Rocket Hour, what happens at Rocket Hour, or any other questions, in fact?
No.
No questions at all. You have got no questions in life.
No, I think it should be fine.
You don't want to know why the sun rises, or where sheep come from, or why seagulls fly. Okay. That is very strange. If I had an opportunity to ask any questions, I'd have very many questions. But that's okay. Then I've got a question for you, and it's an important question. Are you looking forward to starting Rocket Hour?
Yeah.
And you're being honest. You're not just saying that.
No, I'm being honest.
Okay, cool. That is fantastic. Okay, it's like I'm going to say goodbye to you before, but I'd just like to have a quick chat with your dad, if you can call him up, just for a minute, if he's available.
No, I think. I don't think he's available now.
Has he run away? Okay, that's fine. That's absolutely perfect. Let me just note down that your dad was away. Are you sure he's not hiding there?
No, he's.
You've looked under the table. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Then maybe you can just pass the information on that we'll be giving him a call, just to explain a couple of things to him. But otherwise, we are all good. Just with Discord, it's like maybe I can just remind you actually, we don't allow any other servers on we don't allow any other servers on this profile. So if you're going to use Discord, then you're going to log out of your Rocket Hour profile and then log in with your usual profile. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Awesome. Then a big goodbye. It was lovely working with you, Isak. Have the most gorgeous of days, and hopefully we will see you soon.
Yeah.
Cool. So what you can do is you can actually just close to quit now. You can just close Discord, or you can log out if you want to log into either profile. I'm going to close TeamViewer, so I've actually closed it now. So I can't see your screen anymore, and that is that. Have a wonderful day, Isak. Cheers.
You too. Bye.
Bye. Alrighty. So guys, you can hop back in now. Actually, I'm just going to chat because this might be recorded anyway. So the last section now, just with the parent wrap up, dad was not available, told. This is not usual. Usually the parent is definitely there, told Isak that he would call his dad. So I didn't get to do that. Instructions on how to close Discord. I just said close the top. Now I need to remove the orientation role from the student. Very important. So just going roles, remove that role. The reason that's important is if they stay and I keep on typing to further the next student, then those messages are going to pop up for that particular kid. I took questions. I did do that. All of this stuff is done to the parent. And now I can complete the record sheet. If you don't have time for this, that's absolutely fine. You can delay it. But basically, the question was initially based on age, he should be an intermediate. So my question was, should he be beginner, intermediate, or advanced? And when they said he had some text coding experience, I was like, okay, it's probably either intermediate or advanced. If he had no clue, I would have done the beginner assessment, but I was like, it's definitely intermediate or advanced. You do the advanced assessment only if you are questioning whether they should be in advanced. If you don't know whether they should be in pre-beginner, beginner, or intermediate, then the other assessment you'll do in 99% of cases. In this particular instance, his maths comes out advanced, his code comes out advanced, and I know the kid, so I've got a feeling that they should be moved into advanced. So I'm just going to say over there, advanced checkpoint 1. And I think that he will be a strong child. This is my intuition. Guys, don't stress. If you get this wrong, we go over the data and we make sure that that we agree with this. So really knows his code, seems excited, said he was. Cool. That's it. So I can just close that up, and that is my first Isak done.